Stop number 4 on this season's EBERSPA Luge World Cup concludes now here in SIGULDA, Latvia, with the second team relay competition of the season. The EBERSPA Team Relay World Cup presented by BMW. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Singer. The opening team relay event, which was scheduled for earlier this season in Innsbruck, unfortunately had to be canceled due to technical problems. This just in, that will not be rescheduled. So there will only be 6 team relays this season, and one of them right here in Latvia. Austria won the opening one. They will go last today, but we have 6 other nations that hope to qualify and make their way at least in the top 5, if not onto the podium. Right now, I'd like to introduce my co-commentator for today's final race of the weekend from Team USA. It's Hunter Harris. Welcome, Hunter.
Hey, Tim. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to watch this race.
Beautiful. Thanks for being with us. Now, unfortunately, you didn't compete this weekend on the World Cup, but you had plenty of runs down this track. Tell us a little bit more about some of the features.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of the more challenging tracks in the world. It has plenty of challenges to throw at you, and it really rewards consistency, which is kind of the name of the game in the relay here. So, yeah, there's plenty of corners to go. Curve 10, curve 12, you can really throw some stuff at you.
Now, this relay format, as you see, the temperature has been wavering a little bit. It's below freezing now. That's a good sign. It remains very humid. Not so much a good sign in the sport of luge. But this team relay has a lot of interesting features that you don't necessarily see in a regular World Cup race. So talk a little bit about the pad and about the reaction.
Yeah, so you know, the slider will start with the reaction gate opening, and that's new to this year for the first sled, the women's sled. They're going on a timed reaction for the start, and they have to hit the pad at the end, and especially here in SIGULDA, that is a tough pad to hit. Coming out of Kreisel, we've seen a lot of people hitting out of the Kreisel, so it's might have some fireworks at the end here.
We'll have the start list coming up in just a moment. As I mentioned, 7 nations on hand. Notably absent, unfortunately, this weekend is Romania, as it did not field a women's doubles team in this week's World Cup. We expect to see them back soon. We also expect to see Canada taking part in the relay, at least by the World Championships on their home track. I wouldn't be surprised also to see China and maybe a couple of others. That's your teammate, Zach DiGregorio, warming up for the USA. On paper, it would appear, Hunter, to be a battle between Austria, Germany, and Latvia. That's on paper. They've been the 3 dominant nations this weekend. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tough one to call. Of course, Latvia is going to be strong here. They always are. But it seems like this season, Austria is the team to beat. And yeah, you can't count out Germany. USA's had some good results here, so it's going to be, I'm not sure, honestly, who's going to come out on top here, but I think it'll probably be a fight between Latvia and Austria, I would say.
Absolutely, and of course, a missed pad could make the difference between a podium position and 7th and last place. But if you look down the lineup, of course, the USA, Germany, and Austria, they're the only nations in the race that have had top 10s in all 4 races this weekend, so that works in their favor. The Americans and the Latvians have traditionally done well in team relay, even on weekends where they don't perform well in the World Cup races. That's what's one thing that's fun about this discipline. Now we'll start things off with Poland and Klaudia Domaracka. And as I mentioned, there's only been 1 team relay so far this year. Poland was also the first to go in Oberhof, and things ended pretty quickly for Poland. Do you recall that, Hunter?
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, going to be some nerves here with the second relay here, but we'll see how they can put it down.
Claudia had a pretty solid run down that Oberhof track and then failed to hit the pad at the finish, and that was a somewhat more generous location than she's going to face here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge here, but yeah, I'm excited to see.
15 seconds.
As Hunter said, this is a first for the relay where there's a reaction start, even for the very first sled. Pretty clean start for Claudia Domorodska.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean coming out the gate here. She's, you know, going down, it looks pretty smooth.
Claudia, 24 years old. She finished 21st yesterday in the women's singles race.
Yeah, she's putting down a pretty nice run here. No major mistakes. This is good to see. And clean out of the 15. That's another problem spot for a lot of people. So.
This is the Finnish Kreisel. This is what Hunter was referring to. A lot happens here, and she's going to have all she can do. This week, she gets the pad and opens the gate for the doubles team of Humilevsky and Kovalevsky, coming off of a season's best and one of their career best finishes, 7th place yesterday at the Doubles World Cup.
Yeah, these guys had a great race yesterday, and they seem to be putting down a pretty nice run here. But as we saw with Claudia, things can get a little spicy here at the end, so.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we get through all 7 nations, 28 athletes with at least one not missing the pad.
And that's really late there into Kreisel. That's definitely going to cost some time.
Again, there's no finish line. The clock keeps running through all 4 sleds, and this is the 3rd of 4. Maciej Sokovic, and unlike the other disciplines, the men really don't get any practice time at this lower start.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. I mean, we saw him, Mateus, skidding out of 4 there. That's definitely a tougher curve that the men don't have a lot of experience with, so we could see that as well from some of these men's sleds. It's pretty tough when you haven't slid from down there.
For all intents and purposes, Poland is in a 2-nation battle for the top 6. It will be Poland followed by Ukraine, and then we have 5 nations who are all probably at the podium as their goal. It's the pad, the final sled. Domovic and Pivkovska, women's doubles. They had a DNF yesterday with a 2nd run crash.
Yeah, glad to see they're okay here. Giving it one more go at the relay, and they're putting down a pretty nice run so far. That was nice into 11. Oh, and they're having problems in 12. That's going to cost them. And they're over.
Just some people can't get the knack of a track. This is the same place. This is almost like an instant replay, Hunter, where they're trying so hard. Nicola's trying so hard to get back on that sled. It's a lot easier to do in singles than in doubles.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just about to say that looks like a bit of a carbon copy of yesterday, and that's really unfortunate to see. It's just, man, that 11, 12, 13 combo, especially for doubles, is really, really tricky here. And you can see they're just too high in the end and just not much you can do from there.
As an athlete, what's going through your mind? Is it instinct? Is it reaction? Or are you actually thinking what you want to do at this point?
I mean, once you've crashed and once you're about to crash, I don't know. For me personally, my mind kind of just goes blank, and then depending on the crash, you just try to figure out where you are and try to hold on to that sled. That's the most important thing.
Well, for Poland, the woes continue in team relay as they follow up a disqualification with a DNF. This is a team that actually once ended up on the podium in team relay way back in Winterberg about 4 or 5 seasons ago, the scaled down nations field. Ukraine up next. They finished 6th at the World Cup opening relay event in Oberhof. There may be a little bit of a break because all of these countries are on a set schedule, which is set obviously based on no one crashing. But it looks like Juliana Tanitska's ready to go, ready for that reaction gate to open. 21-year-old in her 6th season on the World Cup.
Yeah, we see that reaction start there for the women. I expect some good things out of Ukraine here. This is, I believe, their home track, and they all seem to slide pretty well here. So this could be a good result for them.
great point. This is her home track, and yesterday Tanitska moved up several spots in run number 2. I believe she started in 19th or 20th place and ended up 16th.
Yeah, and she's putting down quite a nice run here. Little correction out of 14, but nothing major, and this is shaping up pretty good so far.
A lot of depth on the Ukraine program. They have at least 2 and sometimes 3 representatives in every race. Let's see how she can handle the pad. All of the lines are clean, and opening up the gate for the doubles team of Hoy and Kaczmar, 15th place result yesterday. Have you tried doubles, Hunter?
I tried doubles maybe on my 2nd year of sliding ever, and I took about 2 runs, and that was it for me. It was not for me.
Yeah. Well, what are the special challenges or the frustrations?
I mean, it's just once you've been doing singles your whole life, it just feels, I think, a little weird. I was on the top there, and it was pretty high up. I'm not used to not feeling the sled there, but
right. That's a great point. Waiting at the gate is Andre Manzi. And he is off following a 20th place earlier today. He just edged out his teammate Anton Dukash, who was originally penciled in to be in the team relay. Dukash had a couple of top 10 results here in Sigulda last season, but Manzi had the better finish today.
Yeah, and we're seeing he went a little late there into 11, but able to correct it pretty nicely. And let's see. Oh, it's definitely going to cost some time there. Did a good job not freaking out, though.
Such a key component of this sport, not to panic once you've hit a wall. Just stay calm, straighten it out. Final sled now, women's doubles. Lena Stetskiv and Alexandra Molk. They were 7th yesterday in the Women's Doubles World Cup. They are fixtures now on the tour. Stetskiv especially, who most weeks competes singles, doubles, and team relay. Did not this week.
Yeah, and they're laying down a very nice run here so far. You can definitely tell this is their home track.
Nice aerodynamic form for Elena as she takes a quick peek, then tucks her head right back into the finished Kreisel. Just need to hit the pad. And we'll assume she did, right?
Yeah, I believe they did.
3:04.670. Ukraine puts down the first finishing time for the 4-sled team relay, and they take the very early lead with the United States waiting at the top.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful run there from Stetskiv Mock. Yeah, really nice to see for Ukraine here. They seem to put down four pretty decent runs. Manzi with that little mistake, but now we got USA.
Ukraine finished 6th last week in Oberhof, or the last race, I should say. It's a great reaction there from Yolana Tanitska. 3:04.670. And now the United States, Emily Sweeney. Sweeney was part of a 5-6-7 finish for the USA in women's singles yesterday. She remains in the top 6 in the World Cup standings, despite missing one race in Oberhof as she was resting an ongoing neck injury. Our thanks to Emily for commentating earlier today. Let's see how her reaction is. Wow, the waiting is
15 seconds.
suspenseful.
And the track is clear.
Yeah, and that can definitely throw off your focus a little bit, but I doubt it will for Emily.
When she's fast, she's as fast as anyone in the sport. A good start for Emily Sweeney.
Yeah, and Emily had super strong starts yesterday. You know, she, as you said, when she's on, she can be as fast as anyone, and this is shaping up so far to be a beautiful run.
Sweeney, a world championship medalist, a World Cup winner in her career.
Little correction there out of 14. Don't think it cost her too much. Nice out of 15.
You got to figure the USA is going to put a lot of distance between itself and Ukraine.
Oh!
Amazing. It looked like the pad moved a little bit.
Oh.
But Andres Six is right there at the finish, the technical jury delegate. And it's so ironic, Hunter. Emily spent a lot of time during the commentary earlier today discussing how challenging that pad position would be.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and it looked like. Yeah, that's.
Come on. First time.
First time.
Let's take another look. The slight correction, nothing big there, but then the pad.
Yeah, just skidding there. This outrun is so tough, and then just
You
missed.
saw the body English as she was trying so hard to move the whole sled back to her left. Did she have the right hand up?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she did. I'm not positive, but once you commit to a hand, obviously, it's not as if you can make the switch at the last minute.
Yeah, it definitely comes at you quick. And that's
Ukraine on its. Yeah, go ahead.
That's the struggle here with Sigulda. It's really, I think it's one of the harder pads to hit, and we're seeing that there out of Emily. She's very experienced, and can happen to anyone there.
No question. As I mentioned earlier, of 28 sleds, we were bound to see one missed pad. Not sure I would have pegged Emily to miss it, but no one is immune to the challenge of the finish curves in Sigulda. Latvia up next, and of course they have a little bit of a hold, as I was mentioned earlier. They're on a schedule here. They're preparing themselves. You can't rush them just because the other team didn't finish. How about the performance of this woman yesterday?
Yeah, she laid down two good runs, two great runs, and it was really cool to see her win here on her home track.
The Latvian flags are flying. They could take the lead now, and the question really is, how long will they hold on to this lead? Latvia this weekend had 4 podium positions, 1 bronze, 2 silver, and gold. And that gold was this woman right here, Alina Bota, newlywed. Her husband will be going next as part of the doubles team. Bota's win yesterday was her 3rd career victory. 2 of them right here on her home track in Sigulda.
And she's
that was
always
quick.
She's always got fast starts, and I don't expect anything less there from the reaction.
The international start champion last year in Lake Placid.
Very true. And this is, so far the run's great. She has so much experience in here, as you can tell. And a little late into 12, but that should be no problem getting you over to 13, and this run is looking good.
1700s at the last split. This could be a half second by the time the clock stops again.
Yeah, that's a great entrance into Kreisel. Let's see if she can hold on to it out. Oh! Again!
This is getting a little unfriendly, Hunter. Can it be that this pad is just in a bad position?
I don't know, Tim.
They've had it in years past there without these incidents, but
yeah, I think it's just, I'm not sure. I know it's one of the harder pads to hit, but this is a little crazy to see.
that is a letdown for these Latvian fans who have been so vocal, so enthusiastic all weekend. They've been rewarded with some great results, but they'll end the weekend on a little bit of a sour note.
Yeah, and this is a pretty crazy thing to see, and we see 4th place now for Ukraine, guaranteed. It's a great result for them.
I was about to mention they're one spot away from their first podium ever, perhaps in any discipline of luge, and I'm not ruling that out.
Yeah, anything can happen, so that is definitely in the cards here.
right there on the left, where you saw at the pad, that's Andres Schicks, who not only is the technical director of the FIL, he is a long-time Olympic medalist from here in Latvia. And he may be the least popular person in the nation right now where they put that pad. But again, the pad it's been in the same spot in past seasons, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of bad luck there for Alina and Emily, but we'll see if Italy can hit it here.
And again, as far as results heading in, Italy, you would have thought would have been on the outside looking in, as Austria, Germany, especially Latvia, and even the USA had put in better results. In fact, all 4 of those other nations had at least one podium. Italy has been shut out of the podium. This is a little surprising. Shut out all season, except for the team relay where they finished 3rd in Oberhof. But singles and doubles, they've come close, including a 4th earlier today by Dominik Fischneller, but no podiums. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it is a little surprising. I think with the Austrian dominance so far, it's a little less surprising, but it's definitely
right.
Yeah.
Fewer spots available.
For sure.
Verena Hofer will lead the way. She'll be followed by Rieder Keinswalder, then Dominik Fischneller, and then the strong women's doubles team of Vetter and Oberhofer. If they are at all clean here, they have another podium.
Yeah, I was just going to say they're in a great spot right now for a really good result, and I'm not sure if that puts the pressure on them more or less. I'm not sure, but
right here it's interesting because this new instituting the women's reaction time, in some ways it's more difficult than the other sleds, because at least if you're the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th to go, you're getting a little timing sense. You're getting warning lights. If you're experienced like Tucker, for example, you almost know exactly when that pad's going to be hit.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor, and we have the random opening here for the women, and it's definitely probably fractionally harder.
Verena Hofer, first things first. Let's see if she can settle in, have a clean run, and then hit that elusive pad. Yeah, not the best start.
She had a bit of a skid there out of 4. That's pretty common to see, I think. Let's see if she can put it down for the rest.
Green should not be a problem for Team Italy, although she's in the red right now behind Tanitska.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. It goes green now. She's putting down a great run from here. And I would expect this to go a little farther in the green.
There's just not enough time to strategize about the relay, and everyone just wants to go as fast as they can. But she hits the pad safely. You got to wonder at this point if their goal is just hit the pad, get it clean, and we've got a podium.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. It's, as I said before, it's consistency is one of the biggest things in the relay, and especially here in Sigulda. So that's probably a focus on every team's mind right now.
Rieder and Keinswaldner won podium this year. They finished 11th earlier this weekend in the men's doubles competition here in Latvia.
Yeah, that's a beautiful exit out of 14. Oh, when they get that skid into Kreisel, that's definitely going to cost some time.
Will it cost them their stability here as the pad? No problem. Dominik Fischneller, his best result of the season, still looking for his first podium of the season in singles, but a good 4th place finish, moving up a couple of spots earlier today.
Yeah, he was riding that elevator this morning. He's such a great slider here. A little late to 11, but he handled it really well. Dominik's, one of the most consistent sliders I've seen here. So
I'd even go as far to say, as while Nico Gleicher had the great speed, the great sled, Dominik perhaps had the best lines in that race in run number 2.
Yeah, for sure. That's a nice clean exit out of Kreisel.
One sled away from a podium. Here's Andi Vetter and Marian Oberhofer, the 2-time defending World Cup doubles champions, still in search of their first podium this season, but they've had pretty consistent top 5 results all year.
And that's a a little late into 11 and also late into 12. They're putting their feet down there. We can see. Oh, and they're over 13-14.
This is remarkable, Hunter. Ukraine is on the podium. Italy's troubles begin, and this has been a race laden now with DNFs and DSQs.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen any race like this. You know, obviously, Italy holding on to a big lead there. They just had to make it down, and that's really unfortunate to see.
Officially now, we'll have more teams not finish than those who finish. Ukraine's on the podium. Germany, Austria hope to get on the podium. They may want to put the brakes on and just make sure they're clean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what's going through their heads right now, Germany and Austria, but this is pretty remarkable, and this is a great result for Ukraine, which is very cool to see.
Absolutely. We saw Romania last year and Altenburg end up on the podium. That was weather helped. We've seen Poland on the podium in the past. That was thanks to an embargo by some nations that just didn't race. And now we see Ukraine taking advantage, or I should say just being clean and ending up on the podium simply by having clean runs.
Yeah, and we see that sign there in 13, Sigulda Thrills, and I think that's been this race so
Very
far.
well put, very appropriate. And this is an incredible race as Italy has the crash. Everyone okay, and that's a key point here. We've had 2 crashes.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they're all okay.
Very Vetter Oberhofer-like as well. I mean, from not to knock the Polish team, but that wasn't as surprising as this experienced team.
Yeah, they're very experienced, and they're very fast. So that was definitely a surprise. And now, yeah, we'll see what Germany can do here.
It almost looks like concern on Toby's face right there.
It might
just be clean.
Yeah.
Don't take any chances. As Merla Freibel now gets the green light, not literally the green light, but she gets the okay to settle down that sled. What do you think? Can we actually get 2 clean runs from the 2 teams that finished first and second last time?
I don't know. I mean, I think we'll probably see some good runs here, but then again, who knows? We're here in Sigulda, so.
Freibel with a podium yesterday, a second place finish. One of a handful of podiums she's had in her career, including, I believe she's had 1 victory. No victory. I thought perhaps a sprint on her home track in Oberhof a couple of years ago. But Freibel will be followed by the Tobys, who won yesterday's race. Max Langenhahn looked solid earlier today. And then Dagen Hart Rosenthal, a very formidable team. Second in the World Cup points, but they have won every World Cup season's title except 1.
Yeah, I mean, on paper here, this German team should be definitely able to fight for the win, especially with Latvia out here. But hey, you got to put down 4 runs.
Freibel still just 21 years old, but already putting some seasoned results in. Her home is the city of Suhl, not far from Oberhof. 2 races on her home track this year.
Yeah, so far this is a really nice run here from Murrow. No problem out of 15. We'll see this exit across over here.
What's amazing is Italy had about a 2.5-second lead when that crash happened. See how big a lead Germany can open up. Already a second for the Tobys. They could very well double that if they're clean down to the pad.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a really nice start curve there from the Tobys. I expect a good run here.
Germany with 3 podiums this weekend. The 1 victory by these 2, as well as 2 bronze medals in singles.
Yeah, and that was a really nice correction there in 12-13. They went a little early there into 12, which can cause problems a lot of the time, but they handled it super well. And bit of a big loop there in Kreisel, but it puts him out nicely, so that might be the strategy here.
Yeah, shaky at the bottom, but a clean hit of the pad. Here's Max Langenhahn. His second podium of the season happened about an hour ago, a third place finish in men's singles behind Austria and Latvia.
Yeah, and they're, opening up a huge lead here. Not surprising to see at all. Max is, as good as anyone.
Just keep it clean, although this is a two-country race at the moment, so they want to be fast, they want to put some pressure, they want to knock Austria off of their dominating high horse that Austria's had all season.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't think Germany's just looking for a medal here. I think they're definitely trying to challenge for the win.
And it is in the hands of the spiked hands of Jessica Degenhardt along with her teammate Cheyenne Rosenthal. I've touched on this in the past, Hunter. What's very exciting about current Germany sliding is we have 4 sleds. They represent all 4 different tracks in Germany. And there once was a time where things were so regional. Now it's getting a little more diverse.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit before my time, but...
That's right. But even in your time, there was a little bit of a rival.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And, we see Jessica and Cheyenne here. They had a bit of a correction out of 14, but looks clean so far, and let's see if they can hit that pad, and they do.
No worse than second place, a mere 4 seconds ahead of Ukraine. But again, it's an exciting story for Ukraine. They'll wait in the podium and be interviewed later. Germany will now battle Austria for the victory. Yes, so Merla and Max out of Oberhof, the Tobys out of Bavaria, Berchtesgaden Königssee, Jessica out of Altenburg, and Cheyenne out of Winterberg. 4 tracks represented.
Yeah, they're covering all their bases. Yeah, and just a little great correction there out of 14. That could have definitely caused some way bigger problems, but they stayed relaxed, and this is the result.
Germany in front, Ukraine in second. 4 other nations that either disqualified or did not finish. So there are only 2 finishing times. Those are the 2 on the podium. And it all is now in the hands, the booties, the sleds of Team Austria. Historically, Austria is looking for its 8th ever World Cup team relay victory. Germany is in search of World Cup win number 50. But things will start off with Lisa Schulte. Lisa has been the most consistently successful athlete on tour this year. In fact, Hunter, she's the only one in any of the 4 disciplines to podium in every race.
Yeah, Lisa's been sliding really nicely this season.
Track is clear for
Looks like they got a early beep there.
Yeah, the shield had not come down. The gate answered. And we'll try to get a word. Could she have missed it? Is there that chance?
There's definitely some confusion here.
I'd hate to see that. Then all of a sudden we'd have 2 disqualifications, 2 DNFs, and 1 DNS. And that would be a very anticlimactic way to finish this competition, and there would be no bronze medal.
Yeah, that would be unreal. I don't know. It looks like they're resetting the gate here. It might have been a little technical difficulty.
That's good to see. And fortunately, not the technical problems we had with the electronics and the power in Innsbruck, which forced the cancellation of that team relay. So unfortunately for Lisa, she has to get reset and go through her whole procedure again. But fortunately, Austria gets a run at it.
Yeah, I think she might be a little relieved that she's getting to go down here.
I'd be really interested to know exactly what happened and whether protests are going to fly if Austria wins this. Lisa Schulte, 24 years old. She was not a shocking winner, but a bit of a surprise. Her victory last year at the World Championships in Altenburg, when Austria did all they could to spoil the German party at those Worlds. I hope this isn't a technical problem, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here.
This would be a big disappointment to the sport if 2 weeks in a row, or 2 out of the 3 weeks rather, we had technical issues. So it looks like all is a go now. You see the red light there. Look for that to turn yellow and then green for the gate to open for Austria's Lisa Schulte.
Trasa brīva, track is clear.
Okay, go, 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 go!
All right, here we go with Lisa.
And while Lisa makes her way down the top part of this track, Hunter, I will tell you that protests actually have been made by both the United States and Latvia. That's the word we're getting. There could potentially be reruns. Now, this is a developing story. I'll try to give you more as I find out.
That is very interesting, and I could definitely throw a wrench in things here. Yeah, this has been one of the strangest relays I've ever seen, so I wouldn't put it past it.
Not quite sure what the basis of those protests would be, because those look like just missed pads.
Yeah, I think it could have been something with the timing, or it could have been something with the gate. I really am not sure, but
And it looked like Emily may have nicked the pad, so we were wondering about that. But let's deal with that in a moment, and let's see if Austria can at least catch Germany here, and whether Ukraine, in fact, will stay on the podium following those reruns.
they're 4/10 behind here. It's definitely going to be quite a bit of work to catch up.
Sure, but the next 2 sleds are 2 sleds that won their races over the weekend. Not the best lines for Mueller and Frauscher here.
Yeah, and I mean, with clean runs, you can't put anything past the Austrians right now.
Pad to Nico Glacia as the gate opens. Nico was the winner earlier today. He'll be followed by Egla and Lara Kipp, who won yesterday. So 3,400s behind, that is surmountable.
Yeah, definitely. This is quite a nice run so far, and he's making up the time.
Unofficially, this is the final sled, but we are getting word that the Latvians and the United States may get another run. Obviously, they'll have to shuttle the women back up to the top if they haven't already. But let's see if Austria can catch Germany here. How close will it be?
I don't know, Tim, if this is
4
going to be
tenths.
this is going to be possible.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask of Egla and Kipp. Degenhardt and Rosenthal had a good run for Germany, much better than they did yesterday when they finished in 6th.
Yeah, and I think Austria here is going to make up a little time, but I really don't think it's going to be enough.
Again, if you've just tuned in, this is the last sled on the official lineup, with Germany and Ukraine currently in 1st and 2nd.
That was an incredible save.
That was a great save. We've heard that there will be reruns from the United States and Latvia, as they had put down a protest. We're not sure of the details of the protest.
Oh, and that is closer than I expected.
Austria almost caught the Germans. Just gives you an idea of how powerful Egla and Kipp have been this weekend, but not enough. Germany, the celebration, as you can see, is somewhat restrained, because I'm sure they've gotten words as well that the USA and Latvia will get reruns, and certainly Latvia is still a threat to win this thing, Hunter.
Oh,
I'm going to let you call these replays, and I'm going to try to catch up on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, Austria here, 4/10 behind at the last sled, and you know, Selena and Lara brought it back 3.5 tenths, which is much more than I thought they were going to be able to do. And they made it really close there at the end, but see Germany with the potential win here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the protests.
So the best I can tell you as we wait and see, the Austrians and The Germans and the Ukrainians at the moment are on the podium, but this is all but confirmed. As you can see, Emily Sweeney is getting ready again. Latvia and the United States get a second chance here.
Wow.
If you were watching earlier, both Emily Sweeney and Bota, Alina Bota of Latvia, missed the pad. Now, given that we're not quite sure what the specifics of that protest are, but rest assured it was legitimate, because there's no question that the jury has made the decision that they deserve a second run. I can't even imagine what it could be, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be that they did hit the pad and they didn't count it. I'm not really sure, but this is shaping up to be a crazy relay. And it's great that we see the U.S. and Latvia get another shot here. I mean, this could definitely mix some things up. And it's good for Emily and Alina to get another try at the pad.
Yeah, that's right, a little redemption. But you got to feel also for Ukraine, the best of times, worst of times. For a moment there, they thought they were guaranteed a podium. Now it's probably an odds against proposition.
Probably, but you know, as we've seen, anything can happen here. You know, we've seen crashes, we've seen missed pads, and now protests that are successful, and this is.
So the way it unfolded, USA will run again after the last team. That's the first message I got. And then the word was they didn't get proper warning at the start.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what that has to do with missing the pad. And other than it might be just coincidence in both cases.
Yeah, and I think that's what we saw a little bit with Lisa there. And I wonder, you know, with Austria coming down in second, if that's going to be a potential protest there too.
This is one of the wildest races I've ever had to call, at least in team relay. And this is it's a crazy format, and pads are going to be missed. But I've never seen anything to the quantity of issue after issue we've had today.
Yeah, I think people are going to remember this one.
So again, USA and Latvia will get reruns. The Americans first. They'll go in the order they originally were slated to go. And what we're getting now with the USA, there's supposed to be a 15-second warning at the first attempt, so perhaps Emily was not given that. It's interesting because her start seemed fine, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely experienced enough to deal with these little weird miscommunications and everything, but hopefully we'll see a legitimate run here.
As one of our viewers just wrote in, Hunter, they said Hunter was right, Sigulda thrills. Emily Sweeney on course now for the United States, 31 years old, two-time Olympian, originally from the state of Maine, and now spends her time between Lake Placid, New York, and Miranza, Italy.
Yeah, and Emily is putting down a really nice run here. Oh, man, I might have jinxed her a little bit, Tim, but she dealt with that problem really, really well.
Third place is probably what the USA can best hope for here, and they should likely be in third at the end of this run. Just amazing.
This is just so crazy.
The cascade of issues we have had on this track. Hunter, a lot's been said about the Sigulda track and how challenging it is, but most of the weekend was rather tame, rather normal, with a few crashes.
This is unbelievable.
Now, and Ukraine, from the moment, has life in the podium.
Yeah, I mean, man, I keep repeating it, but I've never seen anything like this. And we see Zach and Sean here getting up for the second time. Little smile on Zach's face, little laugh there, but man.
You got to feel badly for Emily. I mean, it's she had a good race yesterday. I hope we didn't jinx her by her commentating today. But then coming through with what seemed like a missed pad, a rerun for the USA, and then a crash.
Yeah, and that's super unfortunate. It looks like Emily's okay, which is very good to see. Yeah, just really high there in 15 and then came back down. and it'll pop you right back up on the exit there. It's just usually not a super painful crash, which is good, but it's very...
Especially for Emily, who's battled so many different injuries over the course of her career.
Yeah, she seems to be okay. Held on to the sled there and everything, so super disappointing, I'm sure, for Emily, but man, we could see Ukraine on the podium here again. I don't know.
And now I'm getting word, things are so confusing here, Hunter, but it's possible Latvia is not getting another run. We'll know for sure in a second, but you may be looking at a podium of Germany, Austria, and Ukraine. There's Emily there. She seems fine. She's got the sled. No, yes, obviously they are.
Yeah,
so
we
I'm
see
not sure
what
what
start here.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm getting notes from afar, and things are very sketchy, but good to see Latvia gets a chance. Now, is it a chance to win this race? It was actually Emily who said herself earlier today that Latvia is her pick in this team relay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty safe pick. Obviously, we saw the pad miss, but any other time, I would say that's a super safe pick here in Sigulda. They're always super fast. So we'll see what they can do here.
Alina Vota, 3 career victories on the World Cup, 2 of them in last 2 races here in Latvia to end last season and to begin this season. The other World Cup victory was another crazy race on an incredibly snowy day in St. Moritz, Switzerland in 2021. Let's hope the timing is okay here.
There we go.
You got to figure if she's clean, if she hits the pad, that's a big if. Then Alina will get into the green pretty quickly and could actually open up a pretty good lead on Merla Frabel.
Definitely possible. I wonder, with all this kind of rerun and waiting around, how the ice is held up here. I don't think it's gotten too much slower, but that could also be a factor.
Right, humid day, no precipitation. Interesting, this deficiency still at 1500s.
Yeah, and we'll see much better out of Kreisel.
Gets the pad, opens the gate for her husband Martin Spots and his teammate Roberts Pluma. They finished in second yesterday.
Yeah,
it's a little surprising that Merla beat Alina by that much.
That is surprising, and that makes me wonder if it's a little bit of weather here slowing the track down. I mean, you got to expect Spots and Plume here are going to have a good run, and it seems like they're putting it down. So
right.
I'm curious to see how the time's going to react.
Cutting into the lead a little bit, you got to also figure that Alina had a tough go. She came down to the bottom. She had to go back to the top. She had to re-prepare. That's not easy.
Yeah, and it looks like little problems there out of Kreisel, but they held it together to hit the pad here. Now we got Christers going off.
Christers finished 1 spot ahead of Max Langenhahn of Germany earlier today in men's singles. The margin wasn't that big. But a solid run could keep this almost to the tie to the 1,000th by the time the doubles hit.
Yeah, and he's making up some pretty solid time here, so I think it's either going to be very close or they're going to be in the green here, and that was a perfect exit of 14 for Christers. He knows this track so well.
Very tight, just 200ths of a second. Could be green by the time the pad is hit. Christers Apriljots of Latvia.
He loses a little.
He does, and puts the pressure on this very young doubles team from Latvia, Robanica and Bogdanova, although they ended up on the podium yesterday, which their German counterparts did not. This will be clean. It's at least a podium. Will it be a victory?
Yeah, it's losing a little bit of time here. I know these two are bottom gainers. Not the cleanest lines. Oh my gosh.
And just like that, this team relay in Sigulda, Latvia comes to an end with a disappointing finish for this Latvian crowd. Ukraine ends up on the podium. Latvia, Italy, and the USA are shut out. And once again, I hearken back to what we said about 10 minutes ago. More teams failed to finish than actually finished this team relay. I can't believe that's ever happened, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I feel like I've watched a lot of luge, and I've never seen anything like this. But, you know, we see Latvia and the USA getting a second run here, and we went from 2 pad hits to 2 crashes. Like, this is insane.
And there's nothing left to protest as we see the problem here.
Yeah, and hopefully these two are okay. And it looks like we'll have Ukraine on the podium after all.
That's amazing. Germany wins for the 50th time, Austria second, Ukraine third. And as I was about to say, there's nothing left to protest other than the fact that things were shaken up so much. The timing was so off. Alina and Emily had to go from the bottom back to the top that, you know, who knows how they may have messed up the preparation, the whole sync of things. But look at this leaderboard.
Wow.
Amazing. Congratulations to Ukraine. A mere 4 seconds behind the 2 close leaders, Germany and Austria. But drama is drama, and a great story is a great story. And I can't think of any time in all my years covering this sport, no matter what the circumstance, that Ukraine was on the podium in a World Cup race.
Yeah, I mean, they put down 4 clean runs, and that's, you know, in the relay, I think we said this before, in the relay, and especially here in Sigulda, that's the key. So we're seeing that come to light in a big way here.
All right, Bomi gives the cue for Einars to pass out the flowers. Ukraine, it looks like a little bit of shock, and it was an emotional roller coaster for the Ukrainians. On the podium, maybe no longer on the podium, and they end up right there. Look at the smile on Alina there in the left.
Yeah, I can't imagine how they feel right now. This is a great result for Ukraine. And they thought it was gone, and here it is.
Austria still marking themselves as the team to beat top to bottom in all of the races on a given weekend. But Germany, you gotta think they're loving their situation here as they come through with their first relay win of the year. And they're headed right back, all of you, Hunter, to Altenburg, Winterberg, and Oberhof.
Yeah, we got a bit of a German second half here, but yeah, I'm sure they'll be excited to get to their home tracks and you know, put down some good results there. But I mean, with the way Austria's sliding, I mean, they look really tough to beat. So it should be some good racing to come.
How many flowers do you think the Tobys have had handed to them during their career?
A lot.
In the thousands.
Yeah.
An entire flower shop. It's not a victory shot without the penguin. Well, that was a crazy race.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to remember that one for a long time, Tim.
And we have an update. Our astute viewers, Gordy, watching in Lake Placid, is quick to correct me, pointing out that Natalia Yakashenko from Ukraine was on the podium way back, I believe that was in the early 90s, not long after the Soviet Union became all of the individual nations. Leave it to Gordy to set us straight, huh, Hunter?
Yeah, shout out to Gordy there for the quick trivia. But yeah, I mean, even so, I haven't seen a Ukraine podium in my lifetime, so this is definitely very cool to see.
Actually, Lilia Ludan may have been on the podium too. You've opened up my mind, but that's quite a sight. Ukraine in third place behind the powerful Austrians and Germans. And Ukraine with that moves into third in the overall because a big 0 is appointed to Italy, Latvia, the United States, Poland, and the Romanians who did not compete here. So we're going to stand by, hopefully, for some interviews as we reprise the winning run. Hunter, I'm going to let you go. I know you have some traveling to do, some packing to do. Thank you so much for your contributions to the commentary here in what was a crazy race.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Tim. I mean, this was a crazy race, and I'll definitely remember it. So, yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks again. That's Hunter Harris, Team USA, as we will take you to the finish in hopes of a few interviews. Be very interested to hear what some of these athletes have to say. about today's crazy results. Once again, 3 nations finished the race, 4 fail to finish the race, less than 50% with the clean 4 runs. The Tobys hit the pad there. Max Langenhahn, bit of a rebound weekend for the defending World Cup overall champion, as he has his 2nd podium of the season and his first team relay victory. Max is going to be very tough as we head back to Altenburg, where he won the World Championship last year, another race on his home track in Oberhof. In fact, Max has won on just about every track in the world already. And Jessica and Cheyenne, disappointment yesterday, off of the podium in 6th place, but they come through with a victory here in Team Relay for Germany. It's a record-extending 50th all-time win in the Team Relay competition. 2nd place, Russia, 38 behind, with 12 all-time relay victories. Never gets old for the Tobys, who have probably won more races at this point than anyone in the sport that are currently active.
Guys, congratulations, it's your 50th team relay win. How was it for you here?
It was amazing today. Some trouble on the starts by the other teams, but we take our concentration high and do solid runs, and that's the key to success here.
Thank you guys, congratulations.
Toby Vendel with the rare interview. Good to hear. Congratulations, Germany. Let's hear what some of the other nations have to say, as we hope to bring them right on in for our 2nd and 3rd place comments. You can see Ukraine gathering, the Austrians standing by, and Ukraine getting ready down with Patrick.
Guys, congratulations. This was probably an unexpected win for you. How do you feel here in Sigulda today?
It's very emotional race, very emotional, because many protests, and Sigulda is all time. Any not know how it be in finish, because finish very hard, and we very happy.
Thank you guys, congratulations.
Very humble of Andre Manzi, knowing that the circumstances led to them on the podium, but the team obviously delighted nonetheless. Ukraine makes its way out. We'll see if the Austrians come in. Looks like Lisa Schulte's there for an interview.
Lisa, congratulations on the podium here again with the team. How tricky was it for you out there?
It was really tricky today. The conditions weren't the best. There were some, I feel like, confusions everywhere, not around the athletes, but around the starting people. And it was a bit hard to keep myself in the zone, but I'm really happy to make it to the finish this year, because I think Austria didn't had a team finish here in like 4 years, so I'm glad about that.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you.
2nd place for Austria today. They do not beat the Germans, but if I'm keeping track, I believe there has not yet been a single race, or maybe just one, which Austria has not been on the podium. They have been that strong all season long. We'll see how things shake up when we head back to Germany. The next 3 races leading up to the World Championships will be in the nation of Germany, before heading later this month, early next month, for the FIL World Championships in Whistler, Canada. Exciting finish to a great weekend of sliding in Sigulda. To no one's surprise, the action was fast, it was furious, and it was fun. That'll wrap things up. Great pictures and sound, as always, from our FIL television crew. And for my commentating partner, Hunter Harris, I'm Tim Singer, saying so long, and thanks for joining us.